Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready to do this? So the way this normally works is we take a look at a channel, and we break down everything from the channel design, so the graphics, the panels, things like that, to the actual content in a stream. And then we pull up a VOD and we scrub through a VOD, and we look through not just the stream itself, but we kind of try to find ways to improve the content, whether it's how the streamer engages their chat, or little things about their production value that they could improve, or just even, you know, how they go from one scene to another. And so we'll be covering that today. And today we have Sword of a Big Deal, which, you know, I have to say that is probably one of the best Twitch handles I've seen in general. And I'm sure you've gotten a lot of compliments on that, Sword. So, you know, kudos to you. It's a very good name, and it's actually very good branding, which we can always talk about more. We definitely touch on branding as we discuss this. So, all right. So, let's get started. We've got Sword of a Big Deal's page right here. And I always start kind of from top to bottom once we pull up the page. So we look at the banner, and actually one thing we always talk about with the banner is how do we feel about it, you know, how it looks and feels up here, knowing that there's a carousel that's in the way, essentially in the middle here. And so on most browsers, this is how it would look on a phone, like on mobile. The carousel's not there, so it's not, you can't have something empty in the middle, but you just want something that's not completely being blocked. ArcFox makes a recommendation where it'd line up where you don't, you know, have it blocked by the video carousel. That's certainly a good recommendation. I would probably do something like that, or I would you know, or I would pick, because I see that you have a profile picture right here. You have a logo. You could put the logo on the left and make this open space. Either way, the sword, of course, is, I mean, it's part of the name, it's part of the brand. So if you could find a way to feature that without making it feel squished along the top or bottom of this, that might work well. And of course, I'd always optimize for a 1080p display. This is actually what we're looking at it on right now, is this the screen's 1080p. And so obviously it's going to look different than a lot of other resolution screens, but you can kind of optimize it for this. All right, cool. Let's see if you have a trailer. So we're seeing highlights, we're seeing streams. So that said, trailers. So trailers, I think they introduced in the last year. Not everyone has one. I don't even have one yet. I keep talking about how I'm going to update mine. And, you know, I'm finding that more and more people just don't have them and haven't taken advantage of the feature. I'm still on the fence. I think Twitch would insist that it would, you know, increase the retention of viewers that come to your channel. I haven't seen the data on that. However, I can speak from a more practical standpoint. You do not. That's okay. I would speak from a more practical standpoint and say that trailers are helpful, right? Because they help you. They help not just in the obvious way. The obvious way is, you know, a viewer comes to your channel and you're offline and it presents them with a quick summary of who you are and what you do. And ordinarily what I would recommend during a trailer is the format of an introduction saying, hey, I'm sort of a big deal, but you can call me Sword, or whatever you would want to put there. And then a quick summary of what your stream is about or the community you're trying to build. Whether it's the you know, like the kind of games you like to play, the kind of vibe that you want to have in your stream, or just, you know, a brief description of you know, what you want to build. And then if you got cool clips, I'd put some cool clips in there that show off what your channel's like, and then I would wrap it up by inviting them to you know, hit follow and when you're live. And that, I mean, that's it. It has to be under a minute. It actually won't let you set a trailer for longer than 60 seconds. So it's a lot of information to condense into a very short video. It's very likely you'll have to either record something and edit it, or have something, you know, recorded but very, very short. So highly recommend the trailer. You know, of all the reviews that I've done, I think I've done around 20 of these at this point. Only 3 people have had a trailer up when I reviewed their stream, and there's been a few more who've added it since. But from a practical point of view, it's good. Now, the other thing that makes it useful is it helps you practice talking about your channel. And as you get more involved in the communities on Twitch, or you get, you know, in front of more people, the opportunity to talk about your stream becomes more common. And I think I find a lot of streamers still don't know how to talk about their stream. And so you know, this gives you a very good and practical opportunity to practice talking about your stream. In my case, you know, mine has been changing recently because of things like these stream reviews, but my shift in focus on the channel has been that of you know, helping content creators, as well as doing some charity streams, and then there's some gaming. Obviously gaming, I think, still takes up a big component of my content, but my shift is more towards helping people with their own. And so if I were to talk about my stream, maybe in a stream trailer, I would say something like, hey, my name's Amor, this is my channel. I like to help other creators with their content and help them improve their streams. I also like to do charity work. And of course, there's games. So something along those lines, something really short that describes your channel. And you'll revisit that theme and that concept over and over, actually, as we continue to look at your channel. Yo, Maniacal Z, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Welcome. So that's what's important about that. All right, so let's take a look. It looks like you're very active. I'm seeing a recent broadcast lineup here, so it looks like you've been very active. What's interesting here is I'm seeing 3 different streams from yesterday. I like the name of the streamer, says Maniacals. Yeah, sort of a big deal. Pretty good. It's pretty good. I was just complimenting Sword on it. Very, very good for like the branding, and very good for people, you know, if they hear it, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's really good. And you know what? Even when Sword's just hanging out in my channel, because he was in my channel quite a few times now, but when he does, like when he's hanging out, people will compliment him on his handle. So it's great. I think it's good. Looks like you're very active, so that's awesome. I'm giving you my first impression as someone who's just visiting this page for the first time. It looks like you are considered variety, which is excellent. We see multiple categories here, and then of course your suggested streamers, which you can always update. They call this your streamer shelf. You know, when you put the streamers on the shelf. This is great, and you know, quick reminder, although this seems like a pretty, you know, common sense thing, I would only feature people that you yourself like to watch. So people you want to put in front of your own community. Your last broadcasting Saturday? Oh, it says yesterday here. You had an issue pop up mid Valhalla stream. Oh, okay, gotcha. Let me refresh. Kind of interesting. Let's see. Yeah, like Maniacal Z, like, I mean, and I wouldn't tell you specifically who, but my general recommendations, people you want in front of your community. Maniacal Z says, I put my personal friends and people I've grown close to. Yeah, like that's totally the thing. I don't know, maybe it's just a timing thing. Oh, weird. See, this one says 2 days ago now. It just must be like, it must be a time zone thing, right? It must be like maybe a time zone deal. Anyway, looks good. This looks solid. You've got a banner, you've got a profile picture. I would just maybe see if you could do anything to optimize the banner. Let's take a quick look at sort of a big deal's answers to my questions. So I kind of try to prime the content review by asking some questions to the streamer, which helps provide some good context for us who, you know, a lot of us aren't regulars or have seen Sword's channel, and so it's always good to get a little context when we start to do these reviews. So I always ask the streamer to answer some questions that I provided. And so we're just gonna hop through those really quickly. Nice, Maniacal Z. Make that trailer. Okay. So, and actually this totally goes back to what I was just talking about in terms of thinking about how you describe your channel. The first question I ask is, please describe your channel. What kind of content do you produce? Sword says, variety gameplay as well as high-end WoW Mythic Dungeon content and information. Currently, this is on a hiatus until the Shadowlands launch. So yeah, there's a big content update coming, a whole expansion on WoW. So I totally get that. But ordinarily, we'd be looking at Mythic Dungeon content. If you want, if there's actually highlight that we can look at of that, we could look at that, or we could just look at a more recent stream. So what I like about your description here is that's perfect. You know, variety gameplay as well as high-end WoW Mythic Dungeon runs. That's very good. One thing that a lot of people need to work on and consider is kind of the niche or the audience that they're building towards. Roman Noodle asks, hi, can I link a vid? What is it for? And why are you asking Maniacal Z? Anyway. I love your answer, Maniacal. I'm not a mod, my dude. What's the vid? And welcome to the stream. It depends on your answer. All right. So, when you're thinking about describing your channel, also, you know, continue to think about the niche. Think about the niche that you're in. which is excellent. I'm glad that you're kind of thinking about that. You've got, you know, WoW content alongside variety gameplay, so that's cool. This is my stream now, says Maniacal. This is mine. Okay, so the next question I ask is, what's your schedule? What's your schedule like? So I see Tuesdays 5 to 8:30 p.m., Fridays 6 to 11, Saturdays 6 to 11. So that's good. That's a pretty good schedule. Maybe later, Roman Noodle. If you'd like, you can send it to me via DM. If it's not related to what we're discussing at this moment, I'm gonna have to decline. But if it's a fantastic or a dank meme, I'm glad to check it out later. Just send it to me. How about that? Deal? Deal. Okay. What would Sword of a Big Deal like to get out of the review? Any advice to help draw in new followers to improve the quality and ease of understanding for people that come to my channel? Awesome. Maniacal has some good input here. In my opinion, it's always good to have variety if you're a WoW streamer, because outside of dailies and raids, you need other things to fill the time. I mean, it depends on the you know, it depends on the nature of the content. You know what I mean? But yeah, if it's like raids and things like that, then yeah, maybe you'll want to find other stuff to fill the time. It just depends. I think your desktop capture is stuck. We're not doing anything. We're not looking at anything yet. I'm currently reading the questionnaire, but I'm not capturing it. But we look good. We look good on the window capture. We're scrolling. All right. Let's take a look. And welcome, Super Buoy. Good to see you, man. What particular things do you want looked at? Overall channel layout, as well as any commentary on my stream communication. No worries, Uncle Z. We're gonna move on to that next. We're covering the initial questions, but we shall get to that. Do you have any specific questions you'd like answered? Any advice for how to talk to my stream when no one's talking? Sometimes I have trouble figuring out what to talk about randomly. Okay, cool. So we took a quick review of the intent of the channel. So it looks like a variety channel with some WoW content. It looks like there's a regular schedule. If you don't mind me asking, what is the time zone on that? And then it just looks like a lot of the usual things, right, that we're looking to do, whether it's, you know, how do I improve the quality, or how do I improve my communication with chat? How do I find things to talk about? So we shall cover all of those things. And that is the context we should look at this channel with. So join me in this journey as we begin to look more closely at Sword's content. Okay, now we'll click on the About. Now we'll check out the About section. So, first glance, this looks solid. Pacific, okay, cool. First glance, it looks pretty good. It's got things filled out. Let's go ahead and read the About panel. So what I would expect here is a good breakdown of what the channel's about and who Sword is. You're California-based? Excellent. Cutting through games and enjoying myself with an amazing community. I see what you did there. Cutting through games. Playing multiplayer games with friends and always honing my skill on single-player games. Always looking for advice and fun game recommendations. Just keep swinging through life, friends. I like it. It's pretty solid. That's a pretty solid description. It is more practical in terms of what you're describing, so that's solid. because you cover multiplayer games, your skills in single players. What's interesting and what's missing from this is if WoW is part of your content, you may want to mention that in here at some point. If WoW's part of your... It gets worse. Don't say that. I would say, other than that, you like puns. No, that's puns, wordplay. It's all good. I'm a fan. If WoW is part of your content, maybe mention that here. Otherwise, seems straightforward. I see in your social links that you have Discord, so I'm gonna click Discord. I like to check if links work. And yes, it has kicked me over to your Discord channel or your Discord server. So that works. That's excellent. What I would recommend here, because I know you probably... Oh, you know what? I don't... We see Instagram. You were going to add it back when Shadowlands drops. Okay, no, that's perfect then. I think that's a solid reason to leave it out at this point. But if you choose to add it, you can mention it. You can mention it here and say, you know, taking a break, like giving context to the lack of it, but that you will be back on WoW soon. You know, so I'm taking a hiatus from WoW, but we'll be back once Shadowlands drops, something like that. I noticed that you have an Instagram, but there's no link to the Instagram here, although it's nice to see it down here, so that's good. I'm kind of surprised you don't have your Twitter up here, because you have a Twitter account, although I know that we took a look at it, and I think, if I recall, maybe it's because maybe... Let me find it. The good news is that it's exactly the same as your actual Twitch. I mean, I'm not gonna say you gotta use Twitter, but if you are looking to grow your audience and engage new people, as well as staying in touch with your community, I found that as far as social media goes, Twitter is like the thing, but it is nice to have an Instagram, and Discord is a must. So when we look at your social links here, I generally like to look for a couple things, usually a Twitter, usually like an Instagram or a Discord. Twitter's very recent. Okay. So I would add a link to that right here. I'd add a Twitter. Yeah, Maniacal Z actually is a great example of someone who uses Twitter to share their content. He does a fantastic job. So I'd highly recommend that. But we can talk about like growth and expansion here later, but I highly recommend it. Panels in terms of design look pretty good. I sense a minor disconnect between the style of the panels and the art used in the banner. So what I would consider doing is, and I know art's not easy to always get done, especially if you yourself are not an artist or you need to get art, but you know, you'll want to look at maybe tying those together. It's not horrible. I think you could continue to use this and it would be fine, but if you really want to tie those styles together, it kind of makes it feel a bit more cohesive. Maniacal Z says nowadays their Twitter's just a bunch of politics. You'll be cutting down on that there soon. I get it. A lot of people right now are getting fired up about politics for good reason. So let's look at panel order and then we'll dive into the panels. Normally what I would put in the first slot is your about section. So the first 2 to 3 slots to me are always about the about section, the schedule, and the rules. I would normally order it in about, rules, and schedule, but that's me. I think as long as you start with about, the rules and the schedule I could go either way on, but I like to do rules second and then the schedule. So I would move that to the first slot. And one thing to keep in mind is these will dynamically shift based on the size, like the width of the screen of the person viewing it, or the window rather. So if I were to pop out this left bar like most people have open, as you can see, it nudges one panel, like it nudges the panels to 4 columns instead of 5. If there was a chat window here, it's gonna nudge it to 3. And so if you're trying to do something special with the panels in terms of alignment, optimize for 3 panels, 3 columns worth of them, but know that it changes based on who's looking at your thing. Amor bought me for having a weird layout because I look at mine on a 1440p. Yeah, because most people aren't looking at it on that. I'm just saying. But I would lead with your about section, then your rules, then your schedule. And that's because people will then kind of... It's kind of weird because it's kind of weird to have the subscribe button right there. I don't know. When I look at it, when I look at a streamer's channel that I'm not familiar with, I always look at... I glance at the about section to kind of get some more info in the schedule. And usually when people scroll down here, they're scrolling down here for very specific reasons. They're usually looking for something. Why is everything sending double? I'm sorry, what? Is showing, oh, your chat? That's weird. Maybe refresh. All right, anyway. Let's go through each section. Double content, look at that. So subscribe. Maniacal said subscribe seems redundant. It only is redundant if it doesn't have new information, in my opinion. I think it's pretty common to have a subscribe channel, but only if you talk about why it's important. So this works here. Subscribe to get ad-free viewing more as I continue to grow my channel. Thanks to everyone's continued support. That's fine. You could also talk about emotes if you have emotes. You could talk about your emotes, but ad-free viewing is the main thing. Other perks that you might want to have, you probably already do if you have a Discord, is you could mention your subscriber exclusive channel in Discord, things like that. Let's click it. Will it work? Will it work? It works. Look at that. Fantastic. So we have a donate button, and I'm going to talk about the donate button because this is a fantastic thing. It's very good to have a way for your community to support you outside of the normal Twitch means, which is subscriptions or bits, right? In terms of like, if a person truly wants to monetarily support you, these, you know, this is really important to have. So I'm glad you have it. However, And I'm gonna ding you slightly on this one because donate is not the right term unless you are running a charity. And so because you're an entertainer and a content creator, I would recommend you have this say tip. And I would take the word donation out of your vocabulary in terms of monetary support for your channel. So I'd have it say tip. I know, like, back in the day, I think it was less clear, but now that we kind of have a better understanding of what it is to be a creator and what it is to monetarily support someone, I would call it a tip. And then donations can be for charities if you are raising money for a charity, right? It's a very subtle but very, very real difference between those two things. And you yourself are not a charity, and I know it seems like kind of like a almost, you know, we're kind of picking at the details here, but it is pretty important. And it really helps also better frame it for your community, right? They want to support you, they want to monetarily give you some kind of support. Tipping makes more sense, right? Have Fun says, or maybe a contribution. There you go. But I'd stay away from the word donating. It's a better frame of mind, right? And welcome, Have Fun. Good to see you. Don't forget to tip your streamer. There it is. Tips are in exchange for the quality of service, yes. Good to see you, Have Fun. Welcome. I just think it's a good way to look at it, and I think it puts you and your community in a better frame of mind. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And actually, I just noticed this. You have the word donate and the word subscribe. Because you have the image on the panel, you can get rid of these titles. You don't need a title in those boxes. You could just let that be the title. Let's click donate. Rather, tip. See, even if you look at the URL, I know Streamlabs has been trying to figure out this. They finally have changed that to say tip. At one point, it used to say donation or donate. They're kind of getting wise. They're kind of getting wise to it too. It's funny though, right? Because the URL says tip, but up here it still says donate. They're inconsistent as hell. They don't know what they're doing either. They don't know what this is. It's a tip. It's a tip. About me. So like I said, you'll want to put this in the first slot. Gazing at the central ridge, I recall my past. As a child, I honed my skills. As I got older, I lived on the edge, moving from point to point until I finally got a grip on myself and started playing video games. With training, I went from being a false edge to a fuller true one. Now I strive to add a bit of joy to everyone's life and do everything I can to act as a crossguard against the darkness of the world. Come with me now, grasp the tang and taste the blade, for we will wield destiny together. That is a very different take on the About Me section, but I appreciate it, and I think that's fine. This is good. There's a lot of puns. Yeah, I think that's fine. Always remember when you try to explain what your stream and your community is about, continue to work on that message of who you are, what you do, and what you hope to bring. And one thing I would like to note is as we continue to think about our channels, as we continue to think about our content, consider what makes you different, consider what makes you unique, consider why one person would want to tune into your stream and your content and watch your live content or your VODs more than someone else. So far I'm getting that you are all about the sword puns, and maybe that's your audience. That's totally cool too. 10 out of 10 about me, says Maniacal Z. Twitch's sub, bits, etc. can get put on a 1099 MISC, which classifies Twitch incomes as royalties. Yeah, it's true. Taxes, man. Entertainers. All right. As I said, you'll want to move that to the first slot. Schedule guaranteed streaming times are 6 p.m. to 9, 6 p.m. to 11, 6 p.m. to 11 on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, respectively. So you'll want to note time zone whenever you talk about times. Minor thing. Thursday 6 to 9, Friday 6 to 11, Saturday 6 to 11. Should be Tuesday. Okay, so yeah, you'll just want to make sure that's correct and up to date. I always have a bit of a struggle with the make yourself unique because some people just like a streamer for their personality rather than some quirk or gimmick. I think you're assuming that they have to be different, Maniacal Z. And I'm not saying that you need a gimmick at all, actually. I'm telling content creators to figure out what about them makes them different and unique. That is especially the personality, right? So if you have a gimmick or you have something different, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not what I'm getting at here. What I'm getting at is understanding what is rooted in you as a person that makes your content unique. You know what I'm saying? And it can be partially in what you do. It could be partially in the games that you play, or it's usually the combination, right? It's the combination of the games that you play, the personality that you have, the kind of community you want to encourage, the kind of direction you want to take your community in. That's what will make it different. That's what will make it unique. And honestly, that's what we should be thinking about as creators. So yeah, I'm not saying that it needs to be a gimmick or anything like that. Someone deadass told me your name's Maniacal Z, you should act crazy on stream, and I about slapped him to the moon. No, that's stupid. You should act crazier. But yeah, it's a combination of the things that you bring to your channel, and I'm not saying that you need to tick those boxes, right? Like, here's the games that I play, here's my personality type, here's the vibes that I give. It's more about understanding that. You as the creator need to understand that and figure out how to convey that to your viewers or to new people, and how to be consistent when it comes to those things. And then there's nothing that says that you are stuck and beholden to that concept, whatever it is you come up with. It just serves as a guide for you to understand where you are with your content. And if it changes and shifts and morphs into something different, that's also fine. My stream when I started was really the first thing I really figured out when I started streaming, making content regularly, was that mine was just a chill late night vibe stream. But how many of those exist, right? And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with like you having a thing and there being thousands of other people who do that, but that is what my stream was. Late night chill vibes, playing like colony sims. And there's still people who do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that gave me a better idea of who I am as a creator, and I'm still that to some degree. So there's nothing wrong with that. Just, I don't think creators think about this stuff enough. So I just want to plant the seed, because I think more people need to think about that. And it doesn't have to be something that you outwardly say, but you need to be able to describe it and understand it, because it'll be your compass in terms of the content that you create. All right, rules. This looks legit. Welcome to the channel. We aspire to become a Twitch partner as much as we need to follow TOS and community guidelines. Otherwise stated, expect these posted rules are standard across all platforms. Discrimination, harassment, racism is not allowed. Do not start or promote drama. Keep politics, religious, and controversial topics out of this community. No doxing or sharing private info. No posting graphic, pornographic, or other not safe for work content in or around this community. Please be respectful towards other members of the community. Looks good. I want to... Oops. So when I click, I don't remember if I've clicked in your chat before. So when you click in a person's chat for the first time, rules pop up. Just make sure your rules are consistent with what you have listed in the panel. I wish there was a way to kind of pull that up again on demand if you wanted to look at them again. So how do you do that? So it's in your settings. I believe if you go to your dashboard and you go to preferences, and it's either under channel or under affiliate. Let me look at this. Chat rules. I'm kind of curious now. It's been a while since I've... So it's probably under affiliate, maybe? Rules. Maybe I'm wrong. Content? Community? It'll be in your dashboard. If anyone knows specifically, we can look at it. Moderation. I bet you it's under moderation. Yep. So creator dashboard, under preferences, under moderation, there's the chat rules. So what that does is when a person clicks on your chat for the first time, it shows those rules. So you'll just want to be consistent with what you have in your about panel or your rule panel. All right. We got a YouTube. Does the link work? The link works. Fantastic. The top Discord link worked, but let's see if this Discord link works. Looks good. Fantastic. This song is a bop. It's called Play It Again, Sam, by Harris Heller. It's a good one. It's one of my favorites. Let's see. It's actually one of my favorite ones on there. I'm using Stream Beats, so if you guys are looking for music, right now I use two things. I use Stream Beats by Harris Heller, which is available on pretty much any music service right now. I also use the T-Pain. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. T-Pain, he's a Twitch streamer now, but he produces beats specifically for creators to use, like copyright free, royalty free. And it's called the Pizzle Pack. I'm not even joking. I use that as well. I've been using both of those depending on what I want to do. It's great. I like it. I like it a lot. I was actually doing some work last night, and I was listening to the Pizzle Pack. And actually, last night's stream was using the Pizzle Pack as well. So, music right there. T-Pain's a good dude. All right. Sort of a big deal's got a Instagram. Does it work? Cool, looks good. So what I would do is I would add your Instagram here. I know it feels a bit redundant, but I like to keep links in multiple places. Whether it's one in the panel and one in this section, I think that's okay. Now what I would do is I'd add Instagram and Twitter up here. And if you're feeling really like, you know, if you really want to be diligent, you could add a Twitter panel, but you know, that's up to you. The only thing that's really missing from here, and let me give you some context. For those that don't know, I work for a game company. I work as a video game designer. That's actually my career. However, on some of the projects that I work on and some of the work that I do, it allows me to look at content creators channels and videos to see if there's someone we would want to help promote our games. So that's kind of how I got into this, by like looking and assessing it, creators' content. I've kind of learned to have an eye for that. One of the things that we look for when we are looking to work with a streamer is an email address. So if you don't have a business email that's for your channel, get one and then put it in your about section and put it in your bio on your social media. So I highly recommend that. Maniacal Z says Pipeworks should make streamer related software. Oh, that's a wonderful suggestion. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right. That's it for that section. Yeah, so I would add that, because when you're trying to work with other companies, they'll want a way to get a hold of you. Let's click on schedule, see if schedule is correct. Looks good. So this says Thursday. I thought it was supposed to be Tuesday. All right, you'll want to keep that up to date as well. Video section looks good. So in addition to broadcasts, highlights, clips, and all videos, you can create content, what they call collections on Twitch, but it's rather a playlist like you would expect on YouTube. If you have content that you want to show off, I highly recommend making one, a collection, and then two, you can add it to this page. Dishonor on me and my cows. So you can also reorder these however you like. But recent broadcasts is usually a good one to lead with. I see that you have clips, which are excellent. Not a lot of streamers do the great job with this, but I highly recommend taking more clips. So what you should do is, after your stream, if you don't have a clip button, but it sounds like you do. So either way, either you could clip live during a stream or you could review your VOD, is to create clips of memorable moments of your stream, whether it's something funny or crazy or really interesting that happens or something notable. Get those clips. And actually, Maniacal is like probably one of the best people I've seen at this sort of thing. Generate clips. This is how you grow, and this is how you get more people into your stream. Were you linking something, or was that a mistype, Sword? Let me know and I'll permit you if it's a legitimate link. It was accidental. Okay. You have an amazing community who is on top of it. Good. Then I highly recommend continuing to encourage that behavior. This is how you grow. Good clips. Good clips are the way to do it. And then you would pair that with your social media. So you would put that on Twitter or Instagram, and then I highly recommend that you continue to build out clips on a regular basis. Yeah, people do that all the time. I wish like bots, like my bot wants to do something about that, and I wish it had a better way of detecting links instead of just looking for that dot. Because I think it blocks more chat than it blocks actual links. Yeah, TikTok is a big thing, which is really interesting to me. For a very long time, I followed and kept up with Gary Vee, and he's kind of like a motivational dude, but he's kind of like a guy that talks about how to really like, he's for entrepreneurs and for people who try to like continue to build their own business and build their own skills. um he's been talking about TikTok for years, and he's like, TikTok is like, he's like, TikTok is where you're gonna get discoverability. You're gonna find your audience on TikTok if you continue to like build compelling videos and content. It's not a bad place to go, and I think the Twitch community is finally getting wise to it. They're finally getting wise to TikTok. Oh, that's awesome, Maniacal. Thanks for offering that. But yeah, I would get, if you're looking to drive more people to your stream, regular content on social media is the way to do it. Yeah, you're gonna hit TikTok, yeah. Nice, dude. Hit me with that TikTok link later, if you don't have it yet. Awesome. That's all I got on this. We could dive into a VOD. Is there a certain VOD you want to look at, Sword? Is there one you want to... Do you want to try to look at one of these shorter streams? Or do you want to hop into a longer one? It doesn't really matter. It's more of a question of, is there one you would like to look at? Not okay. So I kind of want to look for a longer one. My choice. Okay, let's see how recent I can go. This one's from 4 days ago. Actually, what's this? Assassin's Creed Valhalla or Phas. Okay, let's look at, both look good to me. Let's start with the Phasmophobia one and then maybe hop into this one, this Assassin's Creed one later. I'm kind of reluctant because I'm totally gonna play Assassin's Creed and spoilers. Haha. But that won't stop me from looking at the content. So let's go ahead and get that going. Phasmophobia.
The field to load in second.
So was this... Did we come back from something, or is this the beginning of your stream? Out of curiosity. It may be the beginning. So we got what we got a cold open here, which for 99% of like your live viewers, it's not a big deal because most people roll in later. But if it's being viewed as a VOD, which I would say is a smaller amount of audience that you may have, but should be growing over time, especially if you're sharing content and clips, you'll still want a more proper beginning to your stream. Even if it's like, hey, welcome to the stream, we're gonna dive right into some Phasmophobia.
The field to load in second.
So that's my feeling on it. It doesn't have to be a big production.
It's okay. Amanda usually loads in last.
But I would recommend just like a quick, hey, hello, we're back, or we're doing this. We're doing this tonight.
You should just stare her down and be like, how does it feel to be a lower item, lower level? Oops.
So I appreciate your very simple layout. It's just your camera. You got a camera frame, which is nice. It's animating.
Okay, I got my book.
Looks neat.
Fuck headlamps. I'm gonna take the upper right side. That's my thought. You okay? You good over there?
I think his key bindings are messed up.
Yeah, I'm good. So in this game, I like the run button to also be on my mouse. So when my finger gets tired, I can.
So does
That makes
Phasmophobia,
sense.
remind me, does Phasmophobia have any way of indicating who is talking in game? And it sounds like you're using the in-game voice. Is that correct? Because I'm familiar with the fact that Phasmophobia has no. Well, are you using Discord or wait? No. Oh, no, that they don't have a way of showing that. Got it.
I
Got
have
it.
my buttons all on my
Okay, so that's unfortunate from a communication perspective, but I will note that if people use Discord, which I know you're not doing here, and Phasmophobia is blowing up, so no one's using Discord because they want to use the in-game voice, which is 100% okay because it adds to the game experience, and I think that's amazing. What it does lack is a way for you to know who's talking. If you are putting up a stream where you're playing with others and you're in Discord, or the game has an option to show who is talking, always put that up. Always put that up. I know that's hard in Phasmophobia. I'm not dinging you for that in Phasmophobia, but generally speaking, like if you're playing a raid in WoW, make sure you have like a Discord widget up that shows who is talking, so your viewers have context. So fantastic, you're good.
So
Is there a way to turn up
spooky.
Discord overlays finicky? So don't use the Discord overlay. Use the stream kit. Don't use the actual Discord overlay. Use the stream kit. Use this. What this does is it takes the same functionality and puts it in a browser as a browser source. So you could call it as a browser source. I don't recommend using Discord overlay. It's there's Can I DM? Yeah, I can DM that to you. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend using Discord overlay because you don't have as much control. This puts it in a browser source and you could put it wherever you want. Yeah, don't use Discord's overlay. It seems pretty unreliable from what I've experienced.
I feel like I hear water running already.
Let's keep going. You can configure that too however you want. And then it's just a browser source.
Yeah, there's definitely dirty water running already.
Where at?
Near me. Bottom floor, first side. I found dirty water. I found the room. That was easy. But man, this ghost is really nice.
This ghost was really nice.
Don't say that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's good you found the room. My freaking thermometer is like stuck at one temperature this entire time.
Rip. Well, it gave us dirty water, so that's nice. Did we actually ever check our fucking objectives, or are we fucking scrubbing it?
Yeah, I just go into the school. I don't even look.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to exit the school at one point anyway. I left the water on, so you should be able to find it. Needless to say, I ain't scared of no ghosts.
I like the singing,
What?
Sword. There you go.
What are you guys doing over there?
Hey, there's dirty water in multiple places.
What do you mean? Are they in the same room or no?
No.
The in-game voice filter adds spookiness. Yeah, it does.
They're right next to each other.
See, I got two dirty water
They sound a little low. I don't know
Oh.
if there's a way to raise their volume because of the in-game voice. They seem a little low to me. Which is really, it's cool for the in-game experience. They're
Wait,
all
what?
maxed.
Oh,
Of course
did he
they
write
are.
in the book?
It makes it difficult as a viewer.
That was nice of him.
Yeah, I'm aware,
You
Fox.
okay?
It does
What happened?
proximity. Yeah, it does proximity and then like actual global.
Those are the best. Did he like? Did he whisper sweet nothings into your ear?
No, I was in the bathroom stall. He appeared for like a millimeter second.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the radio is just so like low.
EMF. Wait, what? 4, 3, 2, and yes.
What you could do potentially, it's hard to know, but like because you know it's not my setup. But what I would do is if they sound low to me, I would lower my own mic and raise the overall mix volume, the master volume, if I could. So that way, you do want the streamer to be louder than the other players, but it's very noticeably louder, and it makes it harder to hear the other people. Which you'll want some of that context as you're watching a stream. So what I would recommend is potentially, all I can really say is, yeah, you need to turn up the sound. If you can turn up like the actual sound of the voice chat, great. If you can't, I would lower your mic and then bump up the whole master volume so you can kind of get a better idea. You don't want the other players overpowering the streamer if possible, but also you want to be able to hear what they're saying still to some
he's
degree.
opening doors too now. Like he's being.
Yeah, he's very angry.
The only objective we need now is salt.
Well, I brought salt.
Yeah, I agree with that, Maniacal. So one thing I'd recommend for accessibility purposes is consider adding a closed captioning widget of some kind. Now, they're not the most accurate things, but they certainly help. And I think it's becoming more and more common on Twitch. But I highly recommend some form of closed captioning.
We need to turn the light off in here so we can see the.
This is a little this is a little thing for I think a lot of streamers, but it makes a huge difference for people. One who need it, you know, because of being unable to hear, but also people more and more are actually pulling up these streams and they're in low volume environments. Maybe they're watching on their phone and they can't listen to it out loud because they're unable to. But I actually have had a few community members say, hey, it'd be cool if you had closed captioning, and you'll notice it more and more all over Twitch. There are different extensions you can use as well as OBS plugins. I use an OBS plugin because it delivers it straight to the closed captioning channel of Twitch's video player, which means it's also saved in my VODs. And again, they're not going to be 100% accurate, but they certainly will help viewers who are going to use it. So.
No clue. Thought I did. That's just a bad spot. Rip.
Miss Donnie, hello.
Yeah, we're done with our objectives, so
let's go a little further in.
Yes, we did. More good.
Looks like you were responding to your chat. This is good. One thing I'm noticing, it's hard when your chat is somewhat.
We found a revenant today.
When your chat's somewhat inactive, right?
We found a revenant today.
If there's not a lot going on, it's kind of hard
And that really just kind of
to interact with chat when they're not really saying a whole lot. And so I know that you were wanting to find different ways to like engage your chat or talk to other, talk to people who are watching. Especially when there's not a lot going on, it's very difficult. I noticed, that you're talking to your friends, which is good. Now, this is always tough when you're playing with other people, but of course, if there's a way for you to prompt your viewers, saying things like, like asking chat questions, right? Like, are we, like, what kind of ghost do you think this is? Or, am I am I in trouble? Things like that, right? So, a lot of prompting questions where you're talking to chat and you're trying to elicit some kind of response from them. I know it's really tough because it seems like 15 minutes in, we're only seeing one chatter. Let me see if we could get a little more. Let's jump. It's tougher the less people you have in chat to talk to.
I keep... Is the TV going off? Did you get a picture of the ghost?
Speaking Java. I did not.
Yeah,
No,
prompting
right.
questions are really good. Like, I don't want you to necessarily feel like you have to force it, because chat can also tell when you're trying to force discussion. But, what you would consider natural conversation, I treat it as something like as if I was talking to my buddy on the couch next to me. In fact, that's actually what a few community members say about when I, play games is I it's like I'm talking to them like they're in the room with me. It's one of those things where it's just like you make comments about the game that are either, prompting a response from someone who's watching, or, of course, a funny joke, or like something like you're being very casual. You're just kind of talking to them about the game. And it really invites, I mean, it's one of different styles you can use to engage your chat. For me, that works really well.
Missed.
Because it feels more natural to me.
Did I get it? Got him! Got the shadowy vision of him.
Creepy.
I don't know where he went, though. He went upstairs. You can come out, Ghost. I promise. Promise he's not right here next to me. Don't trust me? Oh, he's coming back down. He's coming for you, Ghost. No, he's Ghost!
This game is spooky, man.
He didn't find you. That's
I keep meaning to play it.
He was right there. Yeah, I think he went downstairs. Yeah, he just came back out. Cool.
That's not cool, dude.
That was funny.
Well, my patent has been confirmed.
Yep. See, I got a picture of him. I saw him before he closed the door.
Nice post-apocalypse. Come play with you. I might have to jump in sometime.
I could have sworn I saw the shadow of him behind you, though.
Yeah,
I heard him.
Oh, damn. He's trying to kill us right now.
Yeah, I heard my heartbeat. He went.
Ah, cool. Let's get out of here. Hey, look at our sanity. Samwise with the most.
I took 2 pills, or took 1 pills.
Took exactly one.
If a game
pill.
has a sanity meter in it, I'm in. I love sanity meters.
Fuck.
More games should have them.
Okay. I can share mine.
yes, that all.
Okay. Oh, and then...
So chat, I'm kind of curious. What do you guys think so far of Sword's engagement here? Any thoughts? Any questions? Any comments? We're gonna let it roll for a minute, and see what we can find. Any comments are welcome.
Probably gonna be on your left. Be careful.
And chips sound wonderful post-apocalypse. Now I want some chips. Chips sound delicious.
Wait, where are you?
I'm on the left side of or the right side of the building, so not by the ghost. I found the bone.
Hello, Rakai. Welcome.
Gotcha. Okay, I know where you are now. 'Cause, 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 'cause,
Cool Ranch even. Here's a super minor thing, and not everyone cares about this, so I would say if you care about it or you can't unsee it after I mention it, then please change it. If you don't care,
Okay, we're good.
then that's also fine, because not everyone cares about this. You are facing away from the gameplay in your camera.
Where am I going,
So
Ghost?
Follow Sam.
you're facing away from the gameplay. Some people are weird about this. Some people care about this. I care a little bit about it.
Yeah, you take a left and then another left and you're at the stairs.
What I would do is I would either flip your camera to be facing the gameplay, or I would physically move this camera to the left side. I don't know. Not everyone feels the way that I feel about that. But that's a layout thing.
There it is.
It's a layout thing.
Like freaking,
Some people think it's awkward.
It's behind you, Sam.
Mastani says, comment on the stream. Very silent, no game music, no speaking. So what I would say,
EMF stuff.
the flashing light. Yeah, so the gameplay, it's hard when it's the gameplay. So let's address gameplay. Let's talk about gameplay. So this is one of those games where, like most scary games or games that are meant to have kind of ambient, kind of looming, scary feelings, they like to use silence at times, or they like to use really, really, really quiet and low music. So the game is going to dictate that feeling. So as Rakai's saying, it's a bit of a thing. The game has no music on purpose. You have to be quiet when the ghost hunts you. So I wanted to address that. Some games, there's going to be no real music or sound.
Honestly, just be faster to get back to the train.
And so normally I would comment on how quiet the game is or how there's a lack of music. So let's talk about that. Yeah, certain games are hard to watch. What's unfortunate is if the flashing light is a problem for some viewers, I don't know, right? That's the game, and that's tough because I think at that point it's more about how willing you are to, you know, as a streamer, make that game choice. So let's talk about this really quickly though. So this is actually a really good subject to touch on, and I haven't been able to hit on this as much as I'd like to, but now's a good time. In like games like Phasmophobia, as Rakai pointed out, the game has no music on purpose, or it's really low, or, you know, games like this are supposed to be scary. They really go to stop any kind of like sound other than the ambient stuff that would maybe scare the player, or to kind of occasionally make the loud noise. So as a streamer, Phasmophobia and games like it present, I think, an unexpected challenge, because you normally would want to play music, but if you want the atmosphere of your stream to reflect the atmosphere of the game, you don't want to necessarily play music, because you want that sense of tension to remain. And I think that's okay. That's fine. So I don't have a problem with the lack of sound in game, because that's just how it is. The flashing light, that also, again, that has to do with kind of the atmosphere that they're trying to set. In this game, you could have longer pauses between switching a flashlight off or on. That might be a suboptimal for the game. So I think Post-Apocalypse makes some really good points, but what I would like to say is, and the points that Post-Apocalypse is making, is that there's some things about the game that make it somewhat unwatchable, whether it's really dark or the flashing light. This is, again, let's lump that in the unexpected challenges of streaming one of these games. As a streamer who would build content around this game, what I would consider doing is, if this is the game you want to play, that's great, and there's nothing wrong with that choice. There is more what I would call responsibility on the streamer here to provide the content and the things that make this interesting, right? Well, definitely post-apocalypse, but that's kind of hard to say. Like if the streamer wants to play the game, I think that's fine. Like they can play the game, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that sucks for the viewers who can't watch it. And I think that should be part of the streamer's decision. But they can't be all things to all people, right? So like it sucks for the people who can't watch that, but like if they want to play Phasmophobia, there's, you know, they can play Phasmophobia, right? And so yeah. Yeah, I think, and honestly, I think that's a choice that is a choice both the game creator and the streamer have to consider, but that's also the thing that they, you know what I mean? But that said, if you are to stream this game, I think there's responsibility on the streamer to be more active in terms of verbalizing their thoughts or talking out loud about what they're thinking, or, you know, because there's going to be very long moments of silence or quiet in a game like this. And so it's largely on the streamer here to be providing the supplementary reactions and commentary. So but be aware that the way they play things can make a difference is a choice for both streamer and yeah, post-apocalypse. I don't think there's anything wrong with taking that into consideration. It's totally an awareness thing. I would like to, I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't care about what the viewers can and can't watch. I just think that it's something the streamer should be aware of, and they have to make that choice, right? So if they choose to stream that, if they choose to stream that, then they choose to stream it. But yeah, they should know how it affects their viewership, right? And so I mean, that gets into how a streamer wants to run their content, to be honest with you. So Mastani says, in-game mechanics bother me less. Horror scary games just aren't my kind at all. Yeah. So I mean, really what that is when you choose to play a horror game, understand that it affects the viewership, especially if you are considered variety, right? Like if you're considered someone who isn't normally streaming scary games or horror games, consider that, right? It just depends on how you want to do it. So largely my takeaway here is because of the nature of this game and because it's so quiet and scary, the onus is on the streamer to continue to provide that supplementary commentary. I mean, it's always on the streamer anyway to provide commentary and verbalizing their thoughts, as well as filling that space with their voice. But it becomes, if it were a slider, right? If it were a slider of difficulty, it would slide that challenge level much higher as the streamer when you get into these games that are a lot scarier, where there's less music, there's less in-game sound. How loud is the in-game sound for that stream? I could only hear his voice so far inside the haunted place or noises. Well, let's see.
I mean, that would help at least.
Maybe that's why the school got shut down. People were jumping out the window.
Just to go home. Yeet! Right out the fucking window.
Okay, well, my food is here, so I'll be eating. If you need something, I will be here.
Okay. So we only have freezing temperatures, right?
Yep. So you want to grab a spirit box, or a book, or both? You know.
Yeah.
Spirit box is pretty good. It covers 3 of the other options.
I can hear the hum.
What?
Yeah, so definitely spirit box.
And again, this game's a bit different than most, right? It's a little spooky. It's a little spookier, right? So
have
there's
one
gonna
on me.
be. I'm gonna turn this down a bit while I talk over it. Hey, Crean, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Can I get a shout out for Crean?
It's famous stream.
Welcome, dude.
Traveler. Fuck. You're not wrong though. Okay. Do you have a spirit box?
I would say talking more helps here,
We should have. I wonder if.
which I think the number one thing most streamers who
Just fucking trying to
are
loot shit.
figuring out their engagement is that talking. Now, streaming with friends makes it somewhat more difficult.
Should've taken pills.
Does Phasmophobia allow you to mute yourself
Like, I'm just curious. Was this abandoned? Like, how'd they
when
find out?
in the in-game voice chat? Yes, so
Or was,
use
like, a
that.
bunch of
You'll want to
fucking
get used to
people
that,
died?
especially when you play a lot of these games with friends on stream, because it's kind of an etiquette thing, as well as your friends just, don't want to hear you talking to chat. But ideally, what you should be doing is talking to both your chat and your in-game team, your friends that you're playing with. You have the option to push to talk. Excellent. So yeah, you'll want to do push to talk. This becomes when you see a streamer who does this well, you will find that they really balance out talking to their friends and chat, and ultimately you're actually going to hear a lot of talking, like a lot of talking. And so that's just something to be aware. That's something to be aware of.
I think so.
We're gonna jump forward a little bit.
I think I have one on my server.
Yeah, animal pictures.
There we go.
Where
Yeah.
is she?
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
I don't know if you posted on mine.
Yes, there she is.
Although with Phasmo, it's actually not too bad to have the push to talk off, since the ghost can hear you. Chat can technically
Oh.
kill you.
That is a very good dog.
Chat has killed you, really?
I see it.
It's funny.
There.
That's really interesting to know too. That since it can hear you.
Board.
I'm scared. I think you're an adult.
They've killed you so many times. That's funny.
I need an adult. What's up? Okay, my body is ready. These are my boys. I'm ready.
Hi.
See my beautiful dog Ghost?
Yeah.
Ghost can hear you
I'm
regardless of
excited.
push to talk.
I'm probably gonna take home a kitten tomorrow. Oh,
That's crazy.
fucking love. I love animals.
Oh my
So what I'm
God.
looking for here is I'm looking for some engagement with chat. This is actually in between. I know you're probably getting set up for your next ghost hunt.
Keeps giving me her paw. What does it mean?
What up, Ghost? It's your boy.
What?
What you're doing here is it looks like you're getting ready for your next ghost hunt, but this is also a really good time to really engage with your chat and see
Yeah,
what they're up
you're
to,
good.
how they're doing, what's going on.
I'm just gonna keep petting my dog.
This is a good time to continue to engage the people that are currently chatting. And it looks like at this point, we're about halfway through your
They met
stream.
and they got along. So we're hoping that they get along, and we're gonna bring her over to my house and see if they work out well. But they've
So,
met.
yeah,
a few
we're-
times,
This is like the
and- hold
prime.
on, you're on
This
my-
is like the prime time for you to be talking to your chat, seeing how they're doing, what they're up to. This is like the engagement time. I know it's a lot harder when you're hunting the ghosts, but That's a perfect time. Kreen says, and or if you have access to Stream Raiders, setting up the next battle. Actually, I believe Stream Raiders is now open. So you have to hit a certain, I think, requirement, I think, for either followers or viewers. I can't remember. It's one or the other. But Stream Raiders is one of those like chat engagement games where you set up these battles with like in-game enemies and you drop little troops on the battlefield. So there's a period at which you can drop up to 30 minutes where you could put people on the battlefield. All of your chat members can pull this up too. Everyone in chat, if they link their if they open Stream Raiders and link their Twitch account, they drop. You've probably seen it all over Twitch. And then when the streamer is ready, they can hit start battle, and then you can watch the battle play out. It's kind of like auto battler at that point. All the different you know, monsters and then the players' soldiers kind of creep in. Can you post a link to it? Sure. Here, let me permit you, Bastani. Go ahead and post the link to Stream Raiders. It's a neat tool. It's another way for players who are interested in the game get engaged with streamers. The caveat that I have for that game is knowing that you have to continue to get into a good rhythm about being able to switch to it and switch away back to the game that you're playing or whatever it is you're doing. I think once you get into a good rhythm with that, then it's fine. Otherwise, it can be disruptive. I like it, but I'm wondering what engagement actually brings. So the engagement, I think the only real engagement that it helps with is I think it brings another level of engagement for people who are already interested in your stream. I know that you probably see a lot of people who are really into Stream Raiders popping up into your games. Whether they're in your stream or not, I would highly say that it's unlikely that they're in your stream. But it is a good tool, I think, to better engage the people who are already in your stream. That's how I view it. And it's also just a matter of how much the streamer is really into it too.
Next to each other and doing well. For like the cat was found outside and was very skittish to start with, but she has warmed up. She's now playful. She's now not hiding all the time. Like she would hiss before at anyone. She never bit or claw, which is really good. She's also just been otherwise like after that has been pretty mellow.
You open a door. Can you give us a sign?
Speedrun? Oh my god, speedrun! Go 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 go! I wish I could run. But yeah, so like she let Zelda get really close to her now. I don't know if they'll ever play, but I think they'll be chill. If that makes sense.
So this is good here. There was a lot of talking. It sounds like you're mostly talking to your friends, but that's good.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the kitten, that's awesome.
Who's throwing things? 55. I just saw 55. Where was it?
I saw 54 in somewhere.
I saw it like walking up the stairs.
55. I keep getting 55 on in the garage.
Where's in here? No, I think it's right here. I think it's right here, guys. I think it's right here. No?
It has to be in this launch room.
Okay, so let's...
Yeah, it's in the laundry room.
Anybody find the bone?
I haven't looked for it. It's probably in the kitchen somewhere.
Check all the cabinets.
Okay, would it be in a cabinet, really?
I don't know, but I fear the one day it will be.
Wait, we have fingerprints already?
No, I said I didn't find any fingerprints.
Oh. It might be being a bitch right now, though, so.
Nothing on the EMF either.
Fuck it, stay there. Let's go! I got the two-step. Can you step? We can do it all by yourself.
Oh
Step
my
it.
god, there's the middle of the baby room. Who
Yeah,
covers
but I
the
am.
baby room? Mess up.
What?
That was probably me.
So I think you're pretty comfortable though. You're pretty comfortable at least
What happened
talking.
in the baby room?
I think it's just being able to reach out to your chat and engage them more directly. When you're talking in game, there's no problem there. But I think what's really missing is that prompting your chat, either talking to them or giving them ways to respond to what you're talking about. Well, watch
Are
out
you
for
here?
the scene. You might get DMCA'd.
Just fucking open the door and throw out a fucking crucifix. I love it. Sorry. Are you here? Are you here? Thank you. He's here, boys. He's close.
All right, let's jump ahead some more. I'm gonna go for it about 30 minutes and see where we're at.
I mean, I didn't get a picture, but I mean, like, I saw it as I was coming through the camera. It's spawning at the end of the hallway, though.
You can take credit for what I did, it's fine.
Which end of the hallway?
No, I mean, like, you got the picture of it, but I'm saying I saw it on the DSLR camera. That way, down towards that way. All the way towards the end is where it spawned at. Nope, straight down, further. Not in there. Keep going down. Like, the end of that hallway, wherever those double doors are is where I saw it appear at.
This is where you say, "Hey, chat."
Big yike Protoss. Like,
Oh, there it is.
fucking-
Good. See, good.
There's
You're
a big
interacting
fucking
there.
ugly ass
Perfect.
old lady ghost coming at you. And we have this ghost right here.
Are you sure it's all the way down here?
I.
Oh, yeah, it's fucking with the lights.
Ah!
Ah!
Hey, Ghost, you're alive.
Hey, it's a wraith ghost, by the way. We're just trying to get the crucifix crossed off.
That's great. That's a great moment.
Settle with this.
I'll be in here to make sure it gets crossed off, because I'm a fucking coward. And my chat isn't making me go in. So, there, I'm pretty chill. Good job, chat, making me not have to do the fucking scary stuff. Am I right?
There you go. So more
Fuck it.
more things like that where you're talking directly to chat. You're looking at the camera. That's great.
No.
That's
no,
good. Looking at the camera while you're talking to them.
Be my safe
Excellent.
It's not a school. Joke's on you. It's an asylum. I'm not scared of the school. Okay, let's go. No, no safe. You don't want me to be. Fuck no! You fucking suck.
Huh?
I walked inside because my chat told me to, and it fucking.
Get wrecked.
That's funny. That's great. That was great.
I think I got.
We're skipping a little more. Yeah, the timing was perfect.
Where is it at?
My evidence spends money. You're in the hallway.
Word.
Gotta clip those moments. But I highly recommend getting those
What?
clips, made and then sharing them on your
Yeah,
Discord as
missed.
well as on social
Fuck you.
media.
I'll miss fucking shit. Angry.
So you're a little quiet here.
Going out to the truck. You guys need me.
Cool.
It seems like chat hasn't said anything in a while, so that's also one of those things where you can try to fit in any kind of questions to chat, or where you're prompting them to respond to you, because it seems like it's slowed down at this point in the stream.
Where is it?
This is a good time for me to listen to the overall
I hear
mix
it, but I don't see it.
of your channel some more. It
Oh,
seems
it's
like
coming this way. Oh,
your mic,
man, you
your
got
mic is
lucky.
pretty good.
Yeah, sword.
Again,
Yeah?
it's a little hard to hear your
Successful Ouija board
friends, but
I did.
it's gonna take some tweaking.
Your stamina, or your sanity, has not changed.
Huh. Well, that's nice.
There's a lot of downtime in those levels, Rikai. Yeah, when there's downtime,
Sam
that's where you
also
kind of have to
asked,
fill that
so-
with your chat engagement, or else they're gonna get a little bored, right?
Yes?
They're gonna get a little bored. One thing I would like to do, actually, this might be a good time. This is a silly exercise, but I like to do this every so often.
I have a book in the room.
Let's go when this is more likely to happen, just to emphasize the point.
Right?
Actually, maybe we should just back up to where we were, because there was downtime, right? Like right here. This is where I would encourage
Find
you
it.
to close your eyes and just listen to the stream. And I'm gonna
The
go
thermometer?
silent for about 20-30 seconds here.
What was that?
Getting anything. F3.
Fuck, 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 fuck. Run, 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 run.
It's in this room, right?
Yeah, it's up ahead. It's hunting right now. I'm waiting.
Oh yeah.
Hasn't left the room.
Yeah, so there's some dead air there, right? And there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of it in games like these, having some of it.
Got it.
But it's a little, there's not enough commentary here.
I'll put on the stairs. It's a trap.
Too late.
Which is, I know this is hard because you're also trying to communicate with your team. You're also in a game
know
that
where
can
he
hear
went.
you talk. You're also trying to, but that's something to be aware of,
Oh, okay.
where that time could be used to be either
think I got a
speaking to
picture of it.
chat, or if it's hard, like you don't feel like you have a really good thing to talk about or ask, this is where, and I highly recommend doing this for a lot of new streamers especially, and there's nothing wrong with this, but a little prep work, and the prep work includes just
What?
a couple minutes of you thinking about the things that you can talk about during the stream, if you ever need to, right?
I'll miss fucking shit.
Ideally, this exercise makes it easier going forward, but whether it's about thinking about a story you could tell
Angry.
or something else that's going on that you can go over with the chat, whether it's talking about something interesting happening in your day, or it's something about the game, information about the game that you have. Like, when I was first streaming, this was actually part of my biggest concern as a streamer, was not having anything interesting to say. And so I wouldn't take long, but I'd take a minute and I would just quickly think about the things that I could talk about, right? Whether it's about some stupid interaction I had during the day with a random stranger, or something silly that happened at work, or I'm a game designer, so I talk a lot about the games that I'm playing, or about the game that I am playing. I like to throw random information out that I know about the development of the game, or what's really become my thing lately, especially if it's a brand new game. I do a lot of game systems breakdowns while I play it, and I know that's not something that anyone or everyone could do, but it's really about understanding how you are able to engage the people watching. And this kind of goes back to the initial question of what kind of content am I willing to create? What am I about? What's interesting and unique about me, right? And so those are the things that I know won't come to you right away, and it won't come to you very, very easily. But that is the thing that will set you apart as a streamer than every other person in the literal millions of people that are streaming right now. There are literally millions of streamers. And it's when you start to kind of figure out what it is that makes you interesting in how you engage your viewers, you will finally begin to tap into what makes, good content. And I feel like you have some really funny things to say. You have some really good moments. I think it's really about that consistency throughout the whole stream of being able to be, I don't like the term, but continuing to be on, right? Like being, and I'm not saying you need to force anything. I'm not saying you need to really, fake anything, because you shouldn't. It's about being more of who you are and finding the things that you like to talk about and how you want to talk to your chat. So that's all I've got on that. Let's go to the end of the stream.
Hello,
Our cameras are broken too.
Hello, Ghost. What is up?
I'm
My
gonna go poker if I die and unbug it.
Let's see how you
so
close it out.
Yeah.
Sky is up.
Otherwise, I have to leave without kind of and get the all my fucking fault. I don't know. Like I don't know what to do. I don't know. Like I don't know what to do right now. Or we could just call it, I guess. Wait, how you guys feeling? You guys have a preference? Or I don't know how many of you are actually here listening to me right now. All aboard the hype train, Phasmophobia. Maybe we'll just call it. Bothering. Yeah, I just don't know. Don't know who to go bother. That's the problem. Just fucking raid somebody with 0 viewers.
You have 0 viewers.
I don't know. Like, I love you guys. I really love all my fucking followers. You guys are perfect and amazing. And none of the people I normally follow are on. So we're gonna call it tonight, everybody. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming out. Always appreciate it. I'll be streaming tomorrow night. I'm not sure what. Probably
Good.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm going to be streaming something on Saturday, and then
Quick note, turn off autofocus on your camera. Find your camera settings, turn off autofocus, and manually focus it on you. The thing is, we're not moving too much while we're streaming, in terms of like, there won't be a need for it to autofocus, so turn it off. And that will help the visual quality of your stream, in that it's not going to keep trying to correct itself, because it keeps doing it. Especially it's noticeable here on this screen.
we are moving the pizza stream to not this weekend because we had stuff come up, to the
Pizza
weekend
stream.
after, so I can make a poster and get the thing out there. Thank you guys. Thanks Yeoman for the pizza stream. I'm going to be making a pizza from scratch, including the dough, sauce,
Nice.
all that except for like the cheese and meat because I'm not gonna go through making fucking sausage. I love you guys, but that's too much work for me. Same with cheese. Nope, can't happen. Dough's easy, sauce is easy. Can do all that, not a problem. We're gonna do that for you guys. It's coming up. So stay tuned. Try to stay in touch on my Discord. I have a Twitter account. I have a Facebook account. If you guys care about following all that, I should have links. I have places you can find it. Share my stream with your friends as well.
Nice.
Thanks, guys. As always, I hope you guys have a good time. Have a wonderful night. Take care.
That was actually a really good close. That was a really good close. You expressly said that you're ending. You thank them for watching, which is excellent. You let them know when you're live next, which is also good. And then yeah, you actually hit all the things when it comes to closing down your stream. So that was actually really great. The camera frame looked good in terms of where you are in it. Framing looked good. Otherwise, I would say just, you know, fix that autofocus. Thank you for that follow, by the way. Yeah. Anytime there's this movement and there's more difference between the subject and the background, your autofocus freaks out. And as you can see, mine is off because I don't, you know, it's not really, it doesn't really help you in a streaming environment. Normally, if you were in a place where you would be moving around a little bit more and the subject is doing things that you'd want the focus to change on a regular basis potentially, then sure. But for streamers, I highly recommend that you just, you know, you turn off that autofocus and you manually focus, and then you're good. I really like that you are looking at the camera. You are one of the few people that I've reviewed that actually can look at a camera. And so I really appreciate that. Let's do a quick summary, right? So overall, there's a couple things that you could do when it comes to your panels. Overall, channel design seems okay. It looks like production value is pretty solid. The assets that you use seem pretty good. Overall, I think this was a solid, at least from a visible standpoint, it looks good. Your audio, the only thing that I would say about your audio is that, and this is tricky because it's mostly Phasmophobia causing the problem, is being able to balance the other voice levels against your own. It's hard because it's Phasmophobia. So, you know, I think it's just do your best with what that game decides to do. If it were Discord, I would always recommend highly tweaking volumes of the other people who you're playing with as you hear them, as well as throwing up that Discord overlay, not the in-game overlay, but the browser source that I linked earlier if you're talking in Discord, which may come in handy during your WoW streams. Yeah, autofocus doesn't do any favors if you're just sitting in one of these like calls or in a stream. Green, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Good to see you. We'll check you later. We'll check you later, buddy. Take care, dude. So yeah, I highly recommend autofocus off. What else? The biggest thing is, well, I would say the biggest thing that you might be struggling with has to do with engaging your chat and providing them with ways to engage you. So the only homework I would recommend is considering how you talk to chat and how you prompt them without making it feel forced. We don't want to force or fake our way through it, but we want to come up with genuine ways for you to talk to your chat and invite them to be involved, right? And so try to do that. Try to think about what makes you different as a streamer. Again, not a gimmick, but more of your personality and the things that you want to bring forward and the vibe and culture that you want to bring to the stream. Otherwise, solid work, man. It looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to how you change and improve your content. It's looking pretty solid. I think y'all should give Sword at least a either a follow or just check out his stream when you get a chance.